Sure. Yeah. Typical day for me. I think it varies quite a bit. Right now, a lot of early mornings. I like to get up about 5 in the morning so I can talk to our team in Bergen. And that's when my day gets started, and then spend the day kind of on calls, building software, having meetings. Yeah, it kind of varies. And then, towards the afternoon, we typically catch up with the team here in Denver. And while everybody in Norway is asleep, but long days, but it's
But
been fun.
but waking up 5 in the morning, was it the same while you were studying at MIT, or is it something you have to do now since you is a founder in a startup?
I don't know if it's being a founder, if it's growing up a little bit. At MIT, it's actually the culture is very different. It's mostly late nights and very late mornings. They actually have a rule where classes don't start before 9. So that's the first class. And then most people by their junior and senior years start to figure out that I can find ways to make my schedule work so I don't have a class until 10 or 11. So it's actually an opposite. I guess when you're in school, it's late nights and staying up late. And now I'm kind of a early morning person. So
But
it's been a
okay,
switch.
so from MIT to startups, was this like a normal trajectory growing up, or do you think there's something in your upbringing that leaned you towards entrepreneurship, MIT and stuff, or is it coincidence and just life happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I have a slightly unique path. It wasn't typical to go to an Ivy League or MIT from my high school. I grew up in the South in America, and prior to the last couple of years, my high school actually didn't send anyone to MIT for I think it was almost like 20 years. So it wasn't necessarily a normal path, but entrepreneurship for me, it really clicked. It's definitely an ingrained part of school. And, when you go to MIT, you see all the students, brilliant people who have built great companies. And, it's very inspiring. But, I didn't get any of that growing up. I grew up in a town where our primary industry is tobacco. We're known for having, one of the larger tobacco companies based. So that was my upbringing. But I mean, I think I had a very entrepreneurship type of attitude. I always like to build things. I always like to do things by myself. Back in high school and middle school, we had a lawn mowing business. Myself and a neighbor, hustled around on. So growing a business and doing my own thing was something I always had. But it was really school at MIT that you kind of got really inspired and saw what was possible. People building Dropbox or HubSpot, and a lot of those great companies. And to hear that, they were just a couple years older than me at the time, it was pretty opening.